Hey, Mike,
Yeah.
first time car buyer, how can they know what vehicle they should be looking at as far as the overall cost of the vehicle? How can they know how much they can afford?
That's a great question. So essentially, I use a tool, paymentcalculator.net, where you can put in the length of the term. So I typically don't recommend going over 6 years. Most people like to do 5 years, but you can plug in a total loan amount and the term of the loan, and then it'll show you a payment. So for example, if the high end of your budget is $400 a month. What a lot of people will tell you is you should be looking at a car. They'll say $20 for every thousand financed. But that is really just estimate. So if you run it through the payment calculator, you're going to get an exact number. And you should know what the interest rate is because, again, we're going to make the dealerships compete for the financing. We're not going to just finance through the dealership without knowing what rate we can get approved for before we go in. So if you know the interest rate that you're approved for, which you should, because you should be reaching out and finding different banks that have the best financing options. And you can put all that information into a payment calculator to know exactly how much you can finance to get your payment to that number. And again, it's paymentcalculator.net is really good because you can plug in the numbers, change the term, change the interest rate to know exactly how much the vehicle is going to cost. And don't forget your down payment comes off of that number, right? So if you have $5,000 down and the whole vehicle costs 30,000 after taxes, then when you're plugging in that information in the payment calculator, the total loan amount would be $25,000. And then know exactly what the payment is going to be because you know the interest rate and you know the term that you're approved for. So when you go to the dealership, you keep that information to yourself. You always want to give them the opportunity because you never know. They might be able to beat the rate that you had through your credit union.